My name is Andre, and I do the vocals for Afterthought.
What's up? I'm James. I am the drummer for Afterthought.
Hi, my name's Nick, and I play guitar for Afterthought.
The writing process for Vice Versa, the way that it was kind of introduced to the band was Nick wrote the intro riff and the verse and basically kind of just threw down a foundation of drums behind that. And he brought it to us, and he's just like, I got this idea, this is, where can we take this?
When he brought this to us, I felt like everyone connected and vibed really well with it. From there, we actually all sat down at our stations and pretty much just went from there.
So taking that intro that Nick wrote really, to me, inspired a lot of the way that the song moved forward. So by bringing those in, we then were in the room together, and we built the rest of the song out. We built the rest of these sections. And we even had moments where we wrote and we had to get rid of some stuff and come back and readjust things just to make sure that the song really worked as a whole, making sure that the song didn't feel like it dragged on, making sure that every moment kind of felt like it had a purpose, it had a specific reason why it was there.
In terms of lyrics, I had the lyrics mostly done. I'd say about 80% of the lyrics were done, and this was a song that I had written a while ago. It just needed to be restructured.
For me, as a songwriter, it's definitely easy to write riffs and parts of the song. It's harder to complete the song. So I'm very much grateful for the guys, having my back, writing the full song and whatnot.
For this song, Vice Versa, I feel like the style of it is a lot more different than anything we've ever done, and it's probably one of the more of the reasons that I like it. Is it's very repetitive, but it actually differs each time in a lot of different ways. It goes from the intro that's pretty almost like death metal, doom metal kind of screams, like highs and lows, and then it goes straight into a rapping part after that. And what's funny is throwing in a rapping part was something, it's I don't know if I can actually rap. So it was very funny to just try and go for it. But it was fun at the same time.
When we're kind of in the room, just a lot of it is me, James, and Andre going back and forth, writing different parts, different rhythms and whatnot. A lot of the times I'm just riffing on some stuff. I can say it is a lot of pressure writing guitars. A lot of the thought process into this song was, what is the most grooviest thing we can come up with?
Specifically writing drums for Vice Versa, to me, one thing that's always important, that's always in the back of my mind when I'm writing drums to a song, is trying to find moments of how I can create different sections throughout the whole track, but still have it feel consistent. For me, again, it's just finding those moments of opportunity where it's okay, how can I spice this up? How can I change it up? But then how can I make sure it still fits? How can I make sure it doesn't take away from the song? Because one thing that's important to remember being a drummer too is sometimes you just want to go crazy, but you need to have moments where you allow the guitars to shine. You have moments where the lyrics should be the main focus of the song. Sometimes you are meant to be the backbeat and not the forefront. You don't always need to be crazy, but finding those moments where you can be crazy and having that nice balance.
So the concept for the lyrics is really complex, and it's something that I've dealt with in my personal life, in terms of not that these things per se actually happened to me, but it's stemmed from a lot of things that I've gone through, and just thinking back, growing up, progressing as a human, thinking about how these things affect me and other people. I want it to apply to other people, I want people to relate to it, but the concept as a whole for it really is about being in love, or being in a relationship with someone that abuses substances. What's weird is, introspectively, if you are that person that's craving love from someone, and it's a pattern where they are turning to substances and that's their main thing in life, then you have to be introspective about that and be like, why am I attracted to these people that care about drugs more than myself? And I feel like that's something that I had eventually grown up to, introspectively think about and progress as a human on that level to see, there's no true love there, but you have to take responsibility for your actions because you don't love that person in the same way either. You just want to offload that love on someone else when you really need to learn to just love yourself instead.
So for the production of this song was actually a pretty long one. We've been working on the song for about 2 years, I would say. And there was a lot of back and forth of like, what should we do to make the song more interesting? Are parts too long? Things like that. And so there was a point where the song was actually longer than it was. So we spent a lot of the times molding the song into what it is now. As far as like the post-production stuff, we knew that this was kind of like the rap song, so we decided to add on like little like trap hi-hats and whatnot during the verses, just trying to give it that modern feel to it. We also added really cool synth layers just to reinforce the guitars during like the intro and the choruses. It kind of has like that North Lane feel. As far as like mixing goes, it's a long time in the making. I've been at it for a couple years now. Never really happy with the mixes that we've done up until this point. So I think we've kind of nailed it as far as what we want our music to sound right now. And yeah, so a lot of the guitars were just recorded at my bedroom, just sitting there riffing and recording and doing all that stuff. As far as the drums goes, we don't have the luxury of renting out studios or mics or anything, so me and James just sat down for a couple of days and programmed everything that he does during the performances. Some days we'll just be jamming out, right? And then sit back on the computer and recreate what he's doing. And then as far as the vocals goes, we just meet up at Andre's place and we just record the vocals. No booth, no nothing. It was pretty much just a team effort trying to get what we were playing live into the computer, and I think we've very much achieved the energy that we feel when we perform the song.
For this project and future projects, just because we haven't necessarily announced anything yet, I'm just trying to keep things fairly consistent. On this video specifically, we had a couple ideas and some things fell through. I just want to make sure that we keep consistent as far as the look of the band. We want to make sure that things feel professional, especially like having it's almost like this video for Vice Versa doesn't even feel like a lyric video, if anything. There's a lot of visual aspects that go into it. And again, when I talk about consistency, I'm talking about right now we got a specific color palette that we're working with, and just making sure that that's kind of going through every video, making sure the visuals feel similar. That way it really feels like a business almost in that sense. It's the way we're kind of treating it, is keeping this consistent look and feel to the band. So that way that to me also helps tie in the songs together, and the more that we release, the more that you'll be able to start to see this and kind of build that picture. But I wanted to have each song kind of feel like they had their own unique style, their own unique showcase of the band, but again, having those consistent elements. And that's something else that I try to pay attention to on even our cover art that we're putting out. To me, every song that we make is just a new stepping stone. It's, if there's a staircase of trying to master our craft, trying to get better and become more cohesive as a band, I feel like every song does that. The next song always brings us closer together.